Imagine the surprise in a small Midwestern town. An officer arrives to help solve a growing crime problem. But he wasn't who he said he was. Gerald, Missouri is a rural community about 70 miles west of St. Louis. In recent years, the town became a haven for methamphetamine labs and the crime that goes with them. Then, a few months ago, a tough guy arrived in town. Bill Jakop said he was a former federal agent, said it was time to start cleaning up Gerald. The townsfolk were impressed.
They thought, oh, it's a federal agent in our midst, you know, we're so lucky.
They called Jakop Sergeant Bill, and he quickly became a force to be reckoned with.
Almost in every case, ordered people to the floor. Guns were always brandished.
Sergeant Bill waged his own war on drugs and followed his own rules. Those who he arrested say it was routine for Jakop to use excessive force, kicking down doors. No need for a search warrant.
A big part of the problem here was hero worship. To a small town police department, an FBI or DEA agent walking into your office is like Brad Pitt walking into a high school auditorium at the play, you know.
As the arrests began to pile up, so did the complaints. A local reporter started asking questions. Within an hour, Linda Tress learned that Gerald's former Fed was actually a former security guard and sometime trucker. Jakop is being investigated by federal authorities and is likely to be charged with impersonating a law enforcement officer. Joining us for an exclusive interview are Bill Jakop and his attorney, Joel SCHWARTZ. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Describe the situation at Gerald when you arrived there.
Average small town, small-time department.
What drew you there in the first place?
I went for a meeting with the chief of police.
Right. And because you were interested in what?
I was interested in some work that he had previously done.
Uh-huh. And how did that evolve into you becoming involved in law enforcement there?
Well, a relationship involved between he and the chief, and the chief was aware of Mr. Jakop's somewhat limited background in law enforcement and asked him if he would do him a few favors.
The chief asked you to do him a few favors. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
How did this whole thing about you being a federal agent come to be?
Well, it was an innocent evolution. This was not the nefarious scheme that has been portrayed in the media. Bill was simply a guy not looking to be a hero, but a guy who was looking to do a job that he loved and wanted to do, which was be in law enforcement.
Okay, let me try and ask Bill a question here and try and get an answer from Bill, okay?
Certainly.
As this was beginning to evolve, did you think maybe I'm overstepping who I really am and maybe there's something wrong with this picture?
I put a lot of trust in the department, the chief of the department. I assumed that being the chief of police, he would keep things within boundaries.
Right, because as it turns out now, some of those people have lost their jobs, and if you were even on a mission of goodwill, this thing has really backfired in a kind of horrible way, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you regretful about what has transpired?
I am.
Yeah. Because?
I had never had any intention for anybody to lose their job. I never had any intention for any laws to be broken. I purely wanted to help and do the best job that I could. Once things evolved and I grew in a capacity with the department, I just wanted to be the best cop that I could be at that time.
Because you had done some short stints with a couple of law enforcement agencies in the past, is that not correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but not a licensed police officer, nor any real experience with the federal government in any way, right?
I had been a police officer previously.
Okay. What do you think Bill's going to end up being charged with?
We know that Bill's going to be charged with impersonation of a federal agent.
And you're going to plead what?
He will ultimately, there will be ultimately a guilty plea. He regrets the situation. He knows what he did was in violation of the law, and he knows he overstepped his bounds.
Wow. Did you feel at some point that you were really doing the right thing, though you were helping these folks out?
I did. I did. The entire town thought we were doing good.
Yeah. Interesting story. Thank you both for being here this morning and sharing with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Bill Jakop and Joel SCHWARTZ.